What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I got two of the baddest bikes sitting behind me. We're gonna compare these bikes together, and it's actually taken me a long time to get these bikes ready because we had to upgrade them. Now, the F3X Pro, we had to upgrade this to the F3X.2 Pro with doing a controller mod. So now this thing has the upgraded controller because you actually cannot buy this bike anymore on their website. You can only get the 0.2 version of the 3. So we had to do that. This thing is good to go. It's rocking and rolling. Then we had to upgrade this one to the beast mode controller. This is the F4X Pro. This thing absolutely has tons of power now. It is a powerhouse. It is one scary machine. And in today's video, we're gonna kind of walk around the bikes, just kind of nonchalantly, just kind of show you guys each individual part and show you guys the difference and what is the same. So right off the bat, you're gonna notice that both of these bikes look identical. The only thing is this one's obviously 52 volt and this one is 60 volt. This one obviously has a lot more power and this one doesn't. And this is the older model from last year and this is the new one. There is a price difference. This green one right here is $2,600, while this one is $3,000. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now in the beginning of this video is if I was to buy either one of these bikes, at first, I would have said it would have been a close competition, but because the new beast mode controller on this one, hands down, you have to buy the F4X. I probably wouldn't go with the older one anymore. So anyways, let's start on this bike and kind of go back and forth. So this one obviously has the CST Scout tires. You actually might get these same tires on this model as well. It just depends on when you order this one and which batch you get. If you do want the Max Venture MT tires, you definitely want to place an order and contact the company with a note in your order to let them know that you want these tires. You actually might have to wait a little bit longer, but I definitely say these tires right here are a huge upgrade compared to the Scout tires. Unless you want better braking response, you might want the CST Scout tires because they do have more contact patch compared to the off-road ones. They're definitely both nice and plush on the street. You don't feel the knobby tread on the new F4X Pro, but stopping power, I noticed that this one stops a lot better. Another difference I noticed was the faceplate on the old F3X. You can see how flimsy this one is. And on the brand new one, it's nice and thick and beefy. So I like that upgrade. Another thing I noticed is they moved the controller. So this is the F3X. They had the controller on the outside. In my personal opinion, I think it was better this way because of heat dissipation and airflow getting to the controller. Now, something I would do if I own this bike is I would come down here and I'd actually probably make holes right here if you live in a humid or a very hot area, just so air gets to this controller. Now, keep in mind if you do a lot of off-roading and water and stuff like that, you might not want to make holes in that. But I did notice when I looked under here, I think they moved it because my zip tie broke on this one, and I don't know if it's because it rubbed up against the tire or hit right here because the suspension is so plush. So maybe that's why they moved it, because on the new one, it is underneath the seat and it's really tucked away. Now it looks nice because it's out of the way. You don't see that ugly box anymore. I do think this is worse for airflow though. So keep in mind, if you are in a hot area, again, I don't think air is gonna get to this controller as good as it did on the F3X Pro. This controller placement actually causes another issue between these bikes. So I have the Tapia seat upgrade for my F3X and I was like, oh, perfect, I'm gonna move it over because this is a nice thick plush seat. However, there's padding all right in here and you could probably see it. Look, this is the seat right here and that's where the new controller sits on the F4X Pro, which means you cannot transfer this seat over. Now you can go onto Ghostcat's website and you can buy a seat for the F4X, but keep in mind, if you do have the older F3X Pro, it is not going to fit on the F4X Pro. To me, that's a little unfortunate because that seat is $325, and what are you gonna do with it if it doesn't fit on the new bike, but you really like Ghostcat and you wanna support them and buy the new upgraded one? That's kind of a downside to me, but it is what it is. Things change, and you're probably just gonna have to sell it on Marketplace or something. Another change they did is we used to have a 7-speed on this bike, and you can see the gears in the back. The motors look exactly the same too. They match up pretty similar in size. But see all those gears back there? We get the same pegs as well on the new one. But keep in mind, look at this, no gears at all. It's just a single speed. They probably realize that a lot of people just don't like to pedal, and you can come up here and see that there's not a single thing. It actually makes a little bit more room on the handlebars. But yeah, I'm okay with that upgrade, but if you are a pedal enthusiast, you actually might like the F3X better. Another thing I noticed too is that this is actually smaller. And it doesn't come as low either. This one does not come as low as the F3X. So check this out. If I slide over, this one is bigger, and look how much lower it comes on the wheel. So you actually get a little bit more clearance on the F4X Pro. And one last thing I noticed, and I believe this is everything, is the tail light. Now, it's exactly the same tail light, but they actually moved to a hypo connector, which is a waterproof connector that connects to the controller. Now, it's super nice because the old one was just a 2-pin and it's not waterproof. So it's a nice upgrade change. You're not gonna notice it unless you take the seat off, but just keep in mind that was upgraded when going to the F4X. But other than them going from 52 volt to 60 volt and having a lot more power on the F4X Pro, these bikes are completely the same other than what I just mentioned. I mean, the suspension up front, the KKE is the same, the headlight's the same, the front fender's the same. The battery is bigger on the 60 volt, you could definitely see that. The suspension in the rear is KKE, the fenders in the rear are the same. The seat is exactly the same if I had both of the stock seats. You get the same Rock Bros bag as well that you do on both of these bikes, the same handlebars, the same display, the same grips. However, this one does say Ghostcat on the grips, and when you come over to this one does not say that, but is that a big deal? Not really. But everything is legit the same, just different power and exactly what I mentioned. You do get red brake calipers on the F4X, which is super nice if you can see them down here. If you go over to this one, they are black. But yeah, I mean, pretty much the same, but now we're gonna go out and ride them. And I wanna show you guys the speed difference on these bikes because that is the hugest difference that you're paying $400 for. And I gotta say, it's a huge difference. It is not just by a slight margin going up from 52 volts to 60 volt. It is huge. So without further ado, let's check out both of these bikes and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about to see which one you should decide to buy. And if you do, there's links down in the description to save some money on these bikes. All right, so I decided to take the F4X Pro first, and I want to show you guys the torque and speed of this bike if you were to buy the brand new one, and then we'll go take the old one out in a second. But here we go. I mean, Jesus, this thing wants to lift up. Can you guys see this? Like, it's trying to lift up on me, but here we go. Here's full throttle. There we go. Somehow I lost my speed on here. It's not showing my speed anymore. That's kind of odd to me, I think. But look at how fast this baby goes, and we're going against the wind, and it is still going 40 miles an hour. Now with the Beast tune, I've noticed with this controller, it will actually hit 44 miles an hour. Now we got a little bit more wind than we do from the previous day, so we're only hitting about 40 right now, but trust me, we actually gained 1 more mile per hour with this new tune compared to the old controller on the F4X Pro. Let's do that one more time, and I want to show you guys how sensitive this throttle is. So look, I'm barely pulling it, and it wants to lift up. So obviously you have to put it in the lower pedal assist if you don't want it to do that, but it's so hard to keep this bike down. This bike literally just wants to come in the air. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, and let's test it out. See how fast this thing is again. I mean, look at that, 25, 30 miles an hour, 33, 35. Man, this thing is just a beast. This thing is cooking, 40 miles an hour, coming the other way with the wind is actually pushing us and helping. There's 42. I'll tuck a little bit down. This motor's screaming, 43, come on. Woo! All right, if you guys want to see 44 miles an hour, you have to go back to my other video, but this thing is phenomenal. The speed on it, torque on it, everything is phenomenal. It's really scary though. You have to hold this bike down.
12 seconds later.
All right, so we're on the F3X Pro now, the 52 volt version. But before we do the speed test and I show you guys the torque, I just want to let you guys know that we did 43.1 miles per hour on the other bike. Now we gotta see how fast this one goes. The first thing you're gonna notice right off the bat is the fact that when you do hit it, it does want to try to lift up because the suspension is so plush in the front with that KKE suspension, but you can full throttle it and it is not gonna lift up like that other one does. It really stays planted. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, nothing to worry about. It's actually a slower curve. It's still very light and nimble. It's actually lighter than the F4X, but it's real nice and gradual. It's not as crazy as the other one. The other one is really scary to ride, and you have to be pretty advanced to ride that one. This is just nice and comfortable and just smooth getting up to speed. You can't go wrong with any bike. However, only a $400 difference It's not that big of a difference to just get more power. There we go, 36 miles an hour right there, and I am just big chilling. This is nice and smooth. I can get off the throttle, I can get back on it. Power feels like it kind of gradually comes in. The throttle response is really nice. Really lovely, and it's more calmer. It's not a super calm bike, but it's definitely, if you ride the 60 volt and go back down to this thing is definitely more like easier to ride. So let's do that one more time. Here we go. It's getting up to speed quick. Not as quick as a 60 volt, but I mean still, like, we moving like pretty good. Cannot complain. It's a little bit more windy coming back this way, so we're not gonna probably hit that top speed. It's struggling a little bit, so that's something that you're gonna get on this bike. It's gonna struggle a little bit after 30 miles an hour. But there we go, 35 miles an hour. Huge difference, guys. I'm sure you guys see it. It's a huge difference. Now, I should have done a braking test for you guys, because these CTS Scout tires absolutely stop on the road compared to the other ones. I said this earlier in the video. It's just because there's more contact patch on these tires compared to the knobby tread on the other ones. But can't go wrong with either bike, and I'll see you guys at the house. Well, I appreciate you guys watching this video all the way to the end, and hopefully that helped you decide which bike you should get, which, you know, I'll tell you right which one I'm going for. So just in case you guys were interested to know. But yeah, Ghostcat makes good bikes, and this is not just to make a sell for me and to you. I mean, I'm really being honest. They make really good bikes. If you want a very light, nimble bike that feels kind of dangerous and just, it's easy to maneuver, you can throw it in the back of your truck, you know, it doesn't weigh that much. It's very nimble around corners, and it just handles really good, and it's just a fun bike overall. If you want something exciting, these are the bikes to get. So I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys are true MVPs. Peace out. I gotta go.